Motion carries. Okay, moving on to new business. Liam, will you please read the title of ordinance 13-2020?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Canton to enter into a ground lease agreement with Diamond Towers LLC for the placement of a cell tower on the property located at 1525 East Maple Street, North Canton, Ohio 44720, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Okay, Finance and Projects.
Okay, this is just an opportunity for us to use some space over by the baseball diamonds for a new cell tower that they would rent from us. Any other questions?
Well, about how much would that bring in? 1,500 a month? Good. Thank you.
That's just now, so there are options that people could start at.
Start renting from. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. I move to adopt.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring three readings?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 13-2024 under suspension of the rules?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, will you please read the title of ordinance 14-2024?
An ordinance authorizing the appropriation of funds of the city of North Canton to be appropriated for current expenses during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna amend this, correct? Yeah. So we had some, expenses come in, regarding the roundabout that we need to pay, approximately $25,000. So we just need to amend. So I move that we adopt the amended version.
Story second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. And I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council required.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 14-2024 under suspension of the rules as amended?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Liam, will you please read the title of ordinance 15-2020?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Canton to enter into a contract by and between the city of North Canton and the Stark County Public Defender's Office for the purpose of providing legal counsel to indigent North Canton residents in Canton Municipal Court for a period of 1 year commencing January 1st, 2024, and ending December 31st, 2024, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Okay, we do this every year and just using resources that are there to collaborate with the Public Defender's Office. I move to adopt. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And kind of a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring three readings.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 15-2024 under suspension?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Liam, will you please read the title of ordinance 16-2020?
An ordinance amending Chapter 155 Personnel Regulations, specifically Section 155.04, Compensation, subsection G, Part-time Schedule of Compensation, Divisions Public Safety, Fire EMS, and Public Safety, Police Dispatch of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Okay, we talked about this last week and it was a new salary range. Any other thoughts or suggestions? Okay, I move to adopt.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring three readings?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 16-2024 under suspension of the rules?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, will you please read the title of ordinance 17-2024?
An ordinance to approve and adopt current replacement pages to the codified ordinances of the city of North Canton and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Okay, ordinance rules, Jeff?
All right, we talked about this last week. One of the things it brings up is for special events, we're going to be charging for things that we haven't charged in the past. It'll be like a regular rate, like maybe Main Street Festival or something going on downtown, and then we're just updating a lot of things here. So I'll make a motion. We add this to, or we pass it, I guess. Adopt it. Thank you.
Story seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And kind of motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Read that part. Yeah. Motion and a second to adopt ordinance 17-2024 under suspension rules.
I'll make the motion
Second.
to
All
adopt.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm reading ahead there.
Is that 18 or 7?
So this will be.
Okay.
Liam, will you please read the title of ordinance 18-20?
An ordinance establishing rates to be charged for special duty police and fire EMS personnel by the city of North Canton and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Okay, personnel and safety. So David is not here.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just an ordinance. We have certain rates that we're going to be charging for these events and stuff, and for both police and fire. So I make a motion we adopt.
Story seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And kind of motion and a second to suspend the rules of council.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And kind of motion and a second to adopt ordinance 18-2024 under suspension rules.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Liam, will you please read the title of resolution 19-2024?
A resolution approving and accepting app architecture as the architect for the design of a new consolidated fire and EMS services station as recommended by the Request for Qualifications Selection Committee and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Personnel and safety, you want to take that, John?
Yeah, last week we discussed it pretty thorough. Ben did a great job showing that, and we're just gonna, take what he says. I think we have the top applicant. They were gonna take the top 3 unless they felt the top 1 had all of it and go from there. It was a pretty good program he put on, so
Very thorough.
very thorough. I make a motion that we adopt.
Story seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 19-2024 under suspension of rules.
I'll make that motion. We adopt.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, will you please read the title of ordinance 20-1?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Canton to enter into an agreement for the extension of city water lines as a part of the Kennedy Estates subdivision, the development, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Okay, utilities, formerly roads. Jamie?
All right, well, thank you for your continuous reference to
Go back. Keep it going.
So this is, actually, I think it's an exciting piece here because this is growing our base of customers for our water business. And so this is a large plot of land, if memory serves, is approximately 10 acres. It's outside the city off of Mount Pleasant. The owner is subdividing it and it's going to become a new subdevelopment. So we're going to be selling them water. And I don't think anything has changed since we heard about this last week. So Unless there's any other questions or comments, I would make the motion if we adopt this reading.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring?
I'll
So-
make the
so-
motion. Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 20-2024 under suspension?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Again, no one signed up for public speaks. So we'll move on to department reports and we'll start with Patrick.
Yes, Liam, are ready to do my presentation? slideshow?
Yeah, we can go back.
Okay. So about this time of the year, I report on behalf of Safe Built. And Safe Built is the company that we've contracted with to perform a number of services for the city. We believe that this allows the city to get more bang for its buck. We have tried in the past municipal employees, but never have had the level of productivity and efficiency that we are experiencing now. We have had a monumental lift. So we thought it would be important for us to kind of review what SafeBuilt does and look at some of the data. Sometimes there's some folks out there who are intellectually curious and want to know, what various companies do for the city. So these statistics that we're going to kind of go through are, next slide. So SafeBuilt by its very nature, they were formed to be a community development services firm, offering building inspections, plan reviews, private provider, and other professional services. They do this nationwide. For the North Canton location, they have 7 employees, 5 full-time, 2 part-time. That is about half the number that we had when we were doing it ourselves. They perform 4 main roles. They do building and permits, rental registration, code enforcement, and zoning permits. We began our contract with them in 2018, and while the SafeBuilt personnel are private contractors, not city employees, they are still public officials with full authority and subject to the same ethics and conduct. Let's first look at the building permits, which is their primary function. The majority of the Department of Development Services time is spent on reviewing, approving, and inspecting building permits throughout the city. In calendar year 2023, this is worth special emphasis, 1,761 permits were pulled. That is a 31% increase over the previous year, and it's the highest number in the city's history. Now, as you can recall, some of you remember there was a time when it was widely held that the city of North Canton was too difficult to build things, and it was too difficult pulling permits, so on and so forth, and we agreed with it. It was, but we fixed that, and I think that these numbers are starting to show that. At the end of the year, there were still 717 still active permits. Construction was not completed, and 2,460 inspections just for those building permits. 2,460 inspections. Mind-blowingly, these permits represented an investment of capital of $233.8 million in our community. In our little 6 square miles, $233.8 million. The average number of days from the time an application is submitted for a permit to project completion is 61 days. If you look at the pie chart, permits by type, you can see that, and starting on the right side in the dark blue, those are plumbing permits. As we move down clockwise, electrical permits in yellow, HVAC mechanical permits at the bottom in gray. Roof permits is the dark black one, residential building permits, then general building permits, and then you can see the smaller ones are there in the top of the chart. So kind of a well-balanced approach. The next chart we see, these are the permits that are applied for by year. And so you can kind of see how there is an ebb and flow of things. And, we would probably acknowledge that in that low period of, 2011 to 2015 or so, that it's probably not just, a macroeconomic thing. This is probably where service from that department wasn't of the best quality and people were disturbed. So before Safe Built came here, permits took an average of almost 90 days to project completion. Since Safe Built, we've been able to bring that average down to 65 days.
Tell me again, what was that?
So
89,
pre-Safe Built, it was 89.98, we'll round it to 90. And post-Safe Built, we'll round it to 66. So an improvement of 24 days, and, in the construction business, time is money.
Is that,
Yes, and please interrupt.
sorry, is that a good number compared with other cities?
Say again, Steph?
Is that a good number compared with other cities? Like, do we know what a Cleveland permit takes or an Akron permit or a Canton?
Yeah, I'm not sure that, given our size relative to some of the bigger cities, that they have more resources to bear, but it'd be something that I'll look up for you.
Yeah, I just wonder, 'cause it still seems long, right? Like 60 days thinking about,
Well, from the time they get the permit, you got the permit, now you do the job, it's on you now, and we're finding that it's 65 days to complete the project. Because, in the previous one, it was 90 days, you may not be able to mobilize your workforce. You're ready to go, you got them here, but now it's gonna take too long to get this permit, so you go put them elsewhere, and you're doing this work, and by the time you get back, it just stretches out the project.
Okay,
We can look at it.
okay.
Next is rental registration. The city launched its rental registration program in 2023. It tasked the Department of Development Services with implementation. And then for 2024, the program is expanded to cover all rental units in the city. In calendar year 2023, there were 1,912 rental units registered, which we believe represented about 60% of all rentals were brought in 2023. There was an average of 89 and a half days to process. The maximum is 90 days if inspections are refused. So, just a recap of, you go online, you fill out forms, we get that, we reach out to you, schedule an appointment, we go out, we do an inspection. If there's nothing to be done, you're issued your 3-year certificate. If there are things to be done, then we come back after you tell us that the work has been completed and we inspect it again. So that whole process is less than 90 days. 83% of the units that were inspected received the highest tier license, 3 years. So this is our first year with this statistic. This will be something that council will have to watch as the years roll on. That's a very good number. We like that. That doesn't need a lot of explanation. Next slide is the residential rental unit data. So we find the median rent is $850. On the far left of your chart, that is single family, and the number there is 1,032. When we roll it all the way over to the right, and you have commercial rents, and that's about $600 a month. When you put it all together, it averages about $850. Median occupancy is about 2.5 years, and the vacancy rate is an astonishing less than 1%. Let's look at rental unit inspection. Approximately 1,500 inspections were performed in 2023. That's on top of the building inspection happening for permit. So the top 5 violations were smoke or carbon monoxide detectors were missing or not functioning, and other fire codes. Then unsafe electrical wiring, mostly GFIs, the little red button in the outlet, you have that circuit breaker. Unsafe natural gas valves or lines. This was a result of change in Ohio building code that is requiring the ball joint valves to be replaced. Deteriorating walls or floors, and then plumbing leaks. So you can kind of get an idea there. There's a pie chart that breaks them all out. Now, prepare to hold on to your seat. As you look at these pictures, these are not done through computer graphic interface. This is not artificial intelligence. These are actual pictures of apartments that we went in to inspect. You can kind of get the idea of, you know, the hoarding on the left. The picture in the center, I mean, that's black mold. That's all across the top of that ceiling. And there was black mold, you know, elsewhere through there. And then on the right, you can kind of see in the kitchen area, and it leads to an infestation of bugs. Moving out of rental registration into property code enforcement. The department is tasked with ensuring that all properties within the city, both commercial and residential, comply with the city's adopted property code. In 2023, there were 1,073 cases. Prior to Safe Built, there were probably, you know, less than 50. And that's why when council authorized the biannual survey, property code maintenance was the department that came up with the least satisfaction. In the 90th percentile, the people were not happy with code enforcement. There wasn't enough specifically what they marked. So 151 of those cases are still active at the end of the year. The average of time is 47 days from the time the complaint is received to a final resolution. Average of 8 days from the time a complaint is filed till the first notice is sent. So get it, we're on top of it, we notify the people. 93% of cases are resolved without fines or other abatement. Generally, when the people find out that there's something wrong, they're reasonable, they need time to take care of it, we work with them and it gets taken care of. Only 6 cases have resulted in an abatement performed by the city, and there are an average of 1.7 code violations per case. If you look at this chart, we can see that the property code case types, the top 5 violations are rental registration, that was new in 2023, working without a permit, or we still get a lot of that. And, you know, what we see a lot often is on the weekends when this occurs. And so some of us drive around on the weekends looking to see who's, you know, coming in from out of the area to do a job, typically putting on a roof without pulling a permit, because they can get that done on a Saturday or a Sunday when the city isn't open. Wood piles, missing smoke detectors, particularly in rentals, and unsafe electrical wire. Before we move to the property maintenance board, I want to give you one other statistic that I kind of did a little bit out of order, but when we talk about the building permits, getting back to the beginning there a little bit, I wanted to run some data and find out what the breakdown was in the permits that were applied for. You know, how many of the permits in the residential construction were for rental units versus owner-occupied homes. And what we find is that only 15%, 15% of the permits applied for were applicable to rental units. So that's a good number, because that means that in this case, 85% or thereabouts, rounding, were for people who were fixing their home. They were investing in their own property. So then further, I wanted to know the breakdown of the people that are investing in their own property. What percent were on homes built prior to 1970, and what were permits built on homes built after 1970? This too is important. Because, you know, even at this number at 1970, the houses are half a century old. And we're trying to think, looking forward to the next 50 years here, if the statistics bear out that in the pre-1970 homes, that folks are not fixing those up now, they're not likely to fix them up 10 years from now. It's going to be a deteriorating housing stock. So it's important what this number is. So what I can tell you is that in the homes built before 1970, about 67% of the permits that were pulled for residential were pulled for that category. And then only 33% for homes after 1970. So that is a very good sign that the people in this community are willing to invest in their home, even though it may be an older home, but they're willing to take care of it. So I want to make sure I share that.
You know, that's a good fact because many homes, you know, even right around here were built in 1950, 1953, 1955, and they're really sparsing them up really nice with siding or a roof or putting a metal roof on it. A lot of work is being done. That's a good statistic.
Okay, now we'll go to property maintenance review. So the property maintenance review board was established to hear appeal cases arising from property code enforcement. Then the applications are filed or resolved with corrective action instead of hearing. There were 20 total applications in 2023. Looking at this pie chart, the dark blue on the right, 6 were resolved without needing a hearing. Another 6 in the gray were withdrawn. The orange, an application, there were 4 that were incomplete. Towards the top in the light blue, there are 2 cases still pending. And then the green and the red, 1 was granted and 1 was denied. In zoning, zoning reviews are required sometimes for permits. In 2023, we did 56 zoning certificate applications. Typically, this involves placement of sheds, fences, signs, driveways. There were 3 replats done, 10 zoning amendments, 3 variances, 35 inspections conducted. 9 were for new single-family dwellings and 10 were for new commercial. In addition to zoning, the department also does the administrative function for the planning commission and the zoning board of appeals. That's what safe built. That's all of the things. I know it's quick. We'll put this up on our website so that people can. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for sharing
Thank
that
you.
information. I think that's great information for the public to digest because I think I've heard from quite a few people that they think that safe built is sole purpose is for zoning violations. And they do far more. And then to even think about to go back to what we said, 5 full-time and 2 part-time, and to hear that is half the size of the department when we had it in-house. I just can't believe that. That just, to me, just is mind-boggling. We're doing so much more with fewer people.
And haven't they all pretty much remained, like, it's not a lot of turnover there and
Yeah, they love me.
they, yeah.
We're their poster child. In fact,
And Marty does such
oh, Marty,
Yes.
Like,
tremendous.
he's amazing. And he's also great, which was something that was really different from previous. I think we've really changed the attitude from surrounding areas about how they want to work to us. And Marty is great about getting back with people, and he'll stay late if he needs to see lights at your house. You know, when they come on at night to make sure it's the right thing. So yeah, I like it. We're the poster child.
Yeah, well, Franklin, Ohio, in fact, just reached out to us through Safe Built. They're interested. in introducing a rental registration program. They asked Safebuild if they knew anybody that we had experience with it. And their response was, let me tell you the city that got it right. And then we'll show you what they did.
Very good.
Cool. Very impressive. Thank you, Patrick. Deputy Director, you have anything for us?
Just welcome back.
Yes, yes.
I don't have a report. I don't know where I am. So if you have any questions ever, reach out to me.
Any new big projects you're working on right now?
Yeah, it's just kind of pending things, see how things are.
Right.
Still moving the ball along so that things look favorable, are ready to go, not stopping.
Yeah.
We'll stop and then have to go. I would just also like to say about Safeville, say hello to Julie here in the front row. If you ever come in to pull out a permit, she is a recently new hired permit tech. That's a nice.
Did you learn a lot?
Right, still in training.
That's great.
But they are the front desk, bring that and come up the steps, and there to greet you and get the permit application going.
Well, you may have quit before because it was not necessarily a friendly place to come up to. And that's the other thing I want to say, some of these collaborations that we're doing in outsourcing, the time it relieves from administration and from calls to us, and we're really limited in, with our expertise and what we can do. I can't say enough about that savings of time and how that increases productivity and stuff.
Well, you were spot on, Stephanie. I'm so glad you said that. There is, the others that were doing it weren't doing it right.
Yeah.
And it resulted in then a lot of administrative.
I mean, I think back to some of the hours you and I would be on the phone trying to piecemeal it and figure it out because they couldn't, and then what were we going to do? And we just haven't had that.
And Safeville brings solid processes and policies, and they follow them, and it's organized structure. They do the training. It's just so much more organized.
Yeah.
And again, if we're short a person, they can tap into one of their other cities that they manage and bring the person down for a couple of days because somebody's out. Or they're going on vacation, so that we're never really.
Do we know how many cities they manage?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Chia?
I don't have a report, but I do want to remind you in 77 days is the tax filing deadline. We did receive our toolkit from Rita today, and just some things that we can put on our social media, on our website, some reminders that we can kind of send out, so you might start seeing those. Rita also is requiring an app update to their lead file, so you'll see that probably as well. It's probably a quick update like everything else on your phone to do before you start the process. So you'll start seeing those, and that's all I have from finance.
Thank you for the 77-day warning. Mayor?
Yes, thank you very much. I just want to thank council for moving forward with a number of emergency motions tonight. A lot of this for the audience is business that happens right after the first of the year, such as the contract with the prosecutor's office and in getting our wages in line for part-time and for special functions and things like that. So thanks for moving forward on that. Mr. Diorio, thank you again for the presentation on the North Canton Department of Development Services. It's been a journey, I think, for us to get to this point that we have this amount of data. And thank you for the collaboration of our administration and people in Safeville to come up with the statistics that we can present with you tonight. And I think it just shows you that our team has action and it's in motion to, take better care of our community. And as you can see in the one picture, that was just the one location that may have had issues, as you saw.
It was 3 different places.
3 different places. I thought those were 3 different, but
I don't know if that's better or worse.
Well, if it helps us cleaning up our community and make it safer for people, I think so. Also on our website, for the audience there, we do get, we put out notices, and this one's on the solicitor notification. And if you want to just go to our website, but real quick, again, for the week of January 26th through the 5th, February, there is a company called Ambia Energy, and they're soliciting, going door to door. They have permission, they have IDs and things, identification. They have to comply with all our rules and regulations for that. And their only hours are 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And that's for solicitors. They only solicit or canvass between those hours or until sunset, whichever comes first. So I just want to share that with you. Also, I'd like to jump into something else here. I had the honor on Friday, January the 19th, I had the honor to present or be present with 5 residents at the Sanctuary Grand Assisted Living. And it had been brought to my attention earlier in the month that 5 of those residents were going to turn 100 years old or more. And so I had the opportunity to present a letter and recognition for that. So Philip Alonzo, Paul Miller, an Army veteran, and Lillian Smith all turned 100 this year. Juanita Woods turns 101, and Helen Blocker, she turns 103, and she's an Army veteran. And I had the opportunity to give those 2 veterans a pin from the Stark County Veterans Commission, which they really appreciated. On a side note, I don't know if any of you remember the old News Depot downtown Canton, right off of
Market.
Uh,
Market.
Well, Helen Blocker's husband owned the News Depot before he sold it. And it was quite a hopping pace. If you wanted magazines, newspaper, candy, gums, snacks. But she kind of lit up when I mentioned something like, I think I knew, didn't your husband own that? Oh, yes. But it was a wonderful time. So they were recognized with a formal letter from the mayor and thanking them for being such faithful residents of our city. I wanted to share that with you. Something else that's been out there that we have going forward is we have a nice frequently asked questions on the March 2024 income tax proposal. And it's very right to the point, and I wanted to share that and just make a comment about that tonight. But please bear with me as I want to share a few thoughts as we go forward. As I read from my prepared notes, please bear with me. A new year brings continued efforts in bringing positive change to this community, where we live, work, play, and retire. While change may bring uncertainty at times, change can also bring opportunity. It can be a catalyst for creativity and new beginnings if we are prepared. And working together, we can build on our strengths and our commitment to bring positive change, both to our community and for ourselves. Action speaks louder than words. I think with this report right tonight speaks of action. And over the last few years of my time here as your mayor, I've seen action from this council, and I've seen action from other departments. But I want to thank this community for their generous support as we've worked for the greater good of our community. And I mean it. Sometimes we don't show the gratitude enough for our citizens on how they have supported us in a number of ways as we try to better our community. So I'd like you to reflect and think about some of the things we have taken action in improving. We've made great strides in improving our educational opportunities for our youth, our pre-K and second grade school going forward, our intermediate school, and the community getting behind the support of a new middle school. This is going to speak volumes for these young people now, children and your grandchildren, for the matter 10, 20, 25 years for them. Think of the connections we've made now with Walsh University, with our hometown university, and they have not only expanded locally, but worldwide with Italy and Japan, and the connection that we're trying to bring in with them, with the interns that we get in city administration, all from Walsh University. And let's not forget, we have always supported small business. And that doesn't mean that we have forgotten about them, because we do care about them. At the same time, we are working hard and bringing jobs into this community. We've worked hard on economic development for our community and keeping up with the efforts to keeping our parks first class, our recreation opportunities first class, keeping them clean and safe. That all takes action. That takes efforts from our community or from our employees. Think of the possibility playground. Oh my gosh. People from all over this area are coming here. People on vacations and who visit their families here are going to that possibility playground. What a home run we hit up with that. We have a top-rated public library, a top-rated YMCA in this community. And we continuously work and keeping the maintenance of our streets in the best working order that we can, improving safe travel. And we're dealing with that as costs of materials are increasing and reducing the amounts of mileage that we can care for our roads. You know, I believe North Canton is a caring and thriving, energized place for the arts, culture, and heritage, where diversity and inclusivity are embraced and encouraged. North Canton is a safe and supportive city where people are active, healthy, and have a high quality of life. We strive to provide the best exceptional service, best exceptional service, okay, for our police and fire and EMS. It's just exceptional, and safety and well-being for our community is paramount. And we need to help and continue North Canton to be a prosperous and a diverse local economy where people have opportunities to grow and develop. Again, I'm so grateful for the support of our community. I want to thank our businesses and residences who have supported this community for many, many years. And I want to share a short story with you, so please bear with me. I have a short story I'd like to share with you. It's by Frank J. Hoover, who wrote in his book, Fabulous Dustpan, the story of Hoover. It's copyrighted in 1955. It goes like this. It's in the chapter called New Berlin versus North Canton. A former resident returning to North Canton today would have looked at the town and be amazed that he could find much which was remained the same as in New Berlin of 75 years ago. That would have been 1880. The Schultzes still run the Schultz leather store. Ed Kolb still lives in the old Henry Kolb home. Mr. Druckenborough sells auto insurance today in the same house where Odia Druckenborough used to run a tin shop. You still will meet men around town who answer to the name of Schick, Evans, and Hess. But despite these unchanging features, the town has survived only because it has been light enough on its feet to change and change rapidly. Change is a painful but exciting phenomenon. It is the basis of any and every story, this one included, the struggle of active versus the passive, the duel between the dynamic and the static. I share that with you because that's what I see a stage where our city is going through right now. We've been experiencing change, and I'll lead into why I said that story. I think even with our imperfect tax system, the revenues provided by taxes strengthen, not weaken, our city's economy and services. They fund essential public goods and services. They contribute positively to the city's savings and many of the things that we have become accustomed to, and contribute for the betterment, again, of the health and well-being of our community. Our streets, our parks, our schools, our library, our police, our fire, and EMS. This is where our tax dollars fund the betterment of our community, the infrastructure, the recreation that we provide. Taxes are collected for a reason, to provide vital services. Our current tax story is historically low, and since the early 70s, as I recall. Voters will have a chance to understand, or voters need to understand, a spending spree is not the goal of this council or this city or this administration. As we go forward, and in the March 19th, voters will have an opportunity to make their voice known on a 0.5% increase. And again, it's needed for all that we've been trying to do. to be sufficiently to pay for the vital services our community has become accustomed to now, and not to stick the bill to the future generations with no political voice. Everyone in our community needs to help positively impact the betterment for our community. So I just wanted to share, because I've been asked a few things about, what are my feelings about this, and I just think it should be, as the voters do have a political voice in this, to think about all the things that we do receive, and we're asking everybody to be a part of this. And when they think about going to the polls in March, and really think how we all can work together, how we all can pay in to supporting the vital things that we've become accustomed to. There's a phrase that I got from one of my favorite movies, and it goes like this: if there's something wrong, those who have the responsibility to take action have the responsibility to take action. That was by Benjamin Franklin Gates in a certain movie, and I think that's where we're at right now. We have a position here where we have a responsibility to take action, and from this report here, it's been action oriented to try to better our community. The things that we've been able to accomplish over the last 4 or 5 years with this and the previous council have all been action. The hard work that finance is doing to find the dollars so that we are spending and good stewards and where we're investing in our community. So I just wanted to get my voice out there on that and go on record saying that, people will have a choice in March, and I hope they'll think for the betterment of our community. Thank you for allowing me to have Daryl's 10 minutes.
Thank you. Very strong. And that was National Treasure.
National Treasure. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I'm allowed to say that title, but I'm sure. Thank you for indulging me.
Thank you. Liam?
Nothing specifically council related, but just wanted to remind the community to continue filling out the lead service line inventories as we are embarking on the daunting task of documenting the service line for water for every property in the city. So we have 9,000 to do, both public and private side. It's closer to 9,500. So there are notices going out with water bills. There's also a splash page on the city website, and you can fill all that out online. So you'll just go to the building and permits, which kind of leads into my next thing. I wanted to take the opportunity to kind of prop up Ben, who is absent tonight, on his efforts with rolling out the OpenGov platform. So we, as of January 1st, rolled out OpenGov, a completely online permitting and licensing. Kind of goes along with what Patrick was talking about with SafeBuilt. All of our permits and zoning applications and everything can be filled out online. Over 40 services can be applied for completely online, anytime, anywhere. All of the records can be accessed remotely. So people are able to do their jobs start to finish without ever coming to City Hall for a permit. They can do everything from the comfort of their homes, their offices, from the job site. They can schedule all their inspections. Everything can be done online, and it really kind of brings us into the digital age, especially with record keeping. We started digging, and you find stuff from, you go back 20 years, it starts to get real spotty. So this is all cloud-based, so we are able to access everything. It's tied to the addresses. So moving forward, we will be able to just look up an address and see every permit that's ever been pulled. So yeah, it's really been a tremendous effort by Ben, and I kind of picked it up when I started here and helped him carry it over the finish line. Along with SafeBuilt, they were instrumental in helping us figure out what all we needed. So yeah, it's been an incredible effort. And then going back to the lead service lines, all of that can be accessed online. We just need you to complete a magnet test, just holding up a magnet to your service line, a scratch test, and then just a visual exam of what it looks like, and to snap a quick picture for us and upload it, and we're good to go. And then our water distribution team will review it and get everything documented so that we can meet the EPA requirements, and let you know if there's anything that needs to be done with your property, just to make sure that everybody is safe and healthy.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Liam. And great job tonight.
Yes, you did a great job.
Yes.
Council reports. Jamie.
I want to thank Liam because I was going to talk about the lead service lines. I had a conversation with a couple water customers, one inside the city, one outside the city. So I was going to remind folks about that. I do, however, need to remember to do so myself, but thank you, Liam, for sharing. Also wanted to thank Patrick for his report here this evening. I just am still kind of floored at where we were and where we are now. So thank you for that. And thank you for your words, Mayor, about our upcoming decision. I share what you had to say and appreciate it. So other than that, I have nothing else to share.
All right. Melissa.
Yeah, I don't have a lot either. You kind of took all my things. Just to thank you to the folks at the water department. Christina and I got to tour there recently as well, and it was neat to see those, all the work that they do there and what all of that looks like. And when you think about things to be proud of in this community, I think that's definitely on the list. So thank you to those folks for giving us a tour.
Places amazing.
It's very cool.
John.
It was kind of a busy week. Got a few emails. Probably the rest of you did too, with snow removal. We haven't even had an incident this year. We haven't had a major snowfall. The roads were fine. Hats off, Pat, to the crew down there in the street department. The roads were all fine and drivable, and they're fine. The problem, and I want to thank, Pat for his report, the mayor, and I'd like to thank the people who came today. I don't know what brought you here, but it's great to see you here, and we'd like to hear from you, and all our doors are open, and we all answer our phones. Our city needs educated. What does city do? What does schools do? It seems to me everyone who calls me, we talk, well, I'm not going to pass that levy. You spend 10 minutes with them. I'm on board. I'm on board. So this is something all of us have to do, I think. It seems like the people of North Canton, 99% of them love the city. They love living here. Why do we live here? The price of housing is affordable. The housing is always going up. It's convenient to everywhere. It's a safe city. The schools are great. And your properties keep going up and up and up. It's a great place to live. We're all working hard on this. It's just that you got to spend that extra 1 or 2, 3 minutes with the people who call you, or you're out there, having coffee and stuff of that nature. But we've got our work cut out for us in March, but I think it'll come out good for us. So that's my report, and thank everybody for being here tonight.
Jamie kind of said what I wanted to say, but I appreciate those reports. I think those numbers were great. The fact that we finally had data. I'm glad to see our deputy director back.
Yes.
And then I know that last week we received something that the finance team got a really big award or accommodation. But I just was not remembering exactly what it was. So would you mind just sharing?
It was for the annual financial report.
Okay.
It's the GFOA, which is Government Finance Officers Association.
Okay.
And they've awarded this to me. This is, I can't remember what the consecutive number of years it is. We take our time and put together the ACFR, the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report.
Okay.
And submit it to GFOA for this Distinguished Budget Award. There's a low percentage of entities that attain that status, but it's very important to us, along with the transparency. So they judge us on the preparation, the organization, the data that we present in it, the consistency, all of those things we meet sort of a target for that they have.
Okay.
And it goes through quite an extensive review.
I read it and I remembered it last week, and I looked to see if I still had it in my first.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's something you don't have to do.
We don't have to do it. However, if you are going to apply for debt or
That's what I
grant,
wondered.
or
Yep.
it's very important to have that in place
Okay.
as sort of the baseline for their review.
And I know we have taken pride in that many, many, many years.
This will also be the first year we submit the budget for the Distinguished Budget Award. through OpenGov. We've been working with them for now to put it into the format that they are requiring to meet again, their checklist of them. So that way we're from beginning all the way to the end. So the budget, we manage it through the year and then we submit the act at the end of the year, which is the result of how the year ended up. So we'll tie that all together by presenting it.
Oh, great. All right. Well, thank you. Sorry to get the wording right.
Thanks. Christina?
Just echo what Melissa said. Touring the water treatment plant was incredible. I kept joking that I was waiting to see Shamu because it's the only place I've ever seen so much water indoors in my life. But it was fantastic, and the work that they do is just incredible. Those guys are so smart. So thanks to them. And then next week I will not be here. I will be at the Ohio Parks and Recreation Association Conference in Sandusky with Catherine. And then I'm anxious to get to work on our Parks Master Plan after we get back. Looking forward to learning things and bringing them back.
Thank you. I'm still trying to absorb all the numbers on this because I can't believe all of that is done with 5 full-time employees and 2 part-time employees. That's incredible to me. 233.8 million in capital investment, and then, as you said, the best I think sign was it's going into homes before 1970. That's huge. So I think that's very understated.
Yep.
That's all I've got. Final call for new business. Moving on to the meetings calendar. On the 5th, we will have a committee of the whole agenda dependent.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything for that agenda.
Okay.
I don't believe there'll be a meeting on the.
Do we need to change anything?
February 12th will be regular city council, maybe combined with the committee of the whole. February 19th will be President's Day, so there will be no meeting, and then February 26th will be a regular city council. I entertain a motion to adjourn. And for everybody that came, if you have any questions for us, please come up next.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We're meeting next Monday.